So what can we all learn from the Sidemen? I thought this was more important than anything, really. Obviously, talking about what we've done is one thing. But how can you guys hopefully take something away from what the boys do and hopefully from my learnings from working with them for the last year and a half? So, of course, with everything we do with the boys, there's 7 of them. So I thought 7 sort of golden rules for you guys from my time working with the Sidemen so far. So the first one is this: evolve or be extinct. This was a tweet, actually, that Josh posted out in 2014, which I'm very glad that they listened to, because fast forward however many years later, and they've managed to evolve, and they're definitely not extinct. And this is more important than ever. We have changing algorithms, new platforms coming up. I mean, who saw TikTok coming, right, in the way that it did? The time for evolution and evolving is now more than ever, because, yeah, if you don't, then you will get caught behind. So, yeah, never settle, never sit still. Always strive for more and more and more. The second one is that the team makes the dream. And this is something that we've definitely found with the boys. I think behind them, and there's about 150 people, including the chefs at Sides, the people at the vodka brand, the people inside Plus, and so on, who are really making this whole machine work. They have a team of 15 editors, I'd say. Designers, art directors, obviously us as management. There's a whole business structure beneath them now. And I think looking back over the last year and a half, none of the scale, none of the ambition that they've had could have been realized without all of those people pulling together. And with limited time that they have, they need to be focused on doing what they do best, which is making content, right? They don't need to be in boardrooms every day dealing with the minutiae of people and cultures and staff and so on. And they have gaps, of course. They have gaps in experience and expertise, restricted connections, so they need people to plug the gaps. I think for you guys, thinking about the team, thinking about how to bring people along with you is absolutely essential. And yeah, without the right cogs behind the scenes, ideas will stay just as they are, which is ideas. So the third one is this: consistency, consistency, and more consistency. I think the boys, more than anything, demonstrate that being consistent over a decade now is really the key in order to succeed. To have consistency and to be constantly creating new ideas, developing. I think the boys do, I'll work this out, a main channel video every week, 2 more Sidemen videos a week, 3 Reacts videos a week. They do 3 Side Plus shows a week. And then they also do any content for vodka, Sides, clothing, and so on. So the sheer work rate that goes into this, like nothing I've ever seen, but that's why they're so successful and they're where they are right now. Next, make decisive calls. So I think one thing that really typifies the boys, and it's a joy to work with, is they're very decisive. So they have a system which I call the Supreme Court of the Sidemen, where there are 7 of them. They always have a majority, so 4 wins. Once you get to 4, there's a decision. And I love that mindset, because working with talent before, it can be quite difficult, I found, even as an individual, to make decisions and to get going. And I think one thing that they all believe in, and I believe in it massively, is that perfectionism is an enemy. If you're trying to be perfect and make something bang on, you're likely to fail because of the speed required to move in this industry. You have to keep going, you have to keep making decisions and moving at pace. And even if you try and it doesn't work, that's better than not trying at all. So yeah, go hard or go home is definitely the philosophy, and make calls and make them fast and make them in a decisive way. The next one, hold yourself accountable. So I think this is really key. One thing, I know this is a picture of Harry, but one thing that I have an immense amount of admiration for in JJ specifically, KSI, is his ability to be honest so brutally with his audience when they tell him that something isn't good. I don't know if you guys remember the KSI show that he did, but when that didn't get the reception that he maybe wanted, he did a whole video talking about how it was an L, how things weren't perfect in it, and the audience responded brilliantly. Same with his boxing fight recently, when Alex Wasabi pulled out and he replaced him with Swarms, and the lineup he had, there was a bad response. So he came out and said, this is an L, I have to hold it. And I guess the humility and the confidence he must have in himself to be able to do that is astonishing, but I think it's a real lesson for us all. Hold the L's, hold the W's, and do what your audience expects, which I think is to be 100% open with them. The next one is be always value-driven. So this is something at the core of everything we do with the boys, and it's at the core of how they work as well. What is the value you're giving to your audience? It's something which, looking at what they do, they invest a lot of money. Mr. Beast does the same thing. back into their content, obviously at a different scale, but back into their content to make sure that the entertainment is of another level, the things that are always pushing up and up and up. And I think you always want to think, what does your audience get after finishing your content? Do they feel happier? Are they more entertained? Did they have a cry? Like, what was it that you gave them in terms of value that they didn't have before? And if you can answer that, then again, you're on the right track, I think. Again, not that I'm in any way an expert in content like these boys are, but watching them, this is something that's really key to their whole structure and operation. So focus on value, and the rest will follow. And then lastly, enjoy the ride. This is something which, again, is a joy to be around. They are so happy, and they love what they do. And when you go into the studio and they're filming, they're having the time of their lives together. They are 7 genuine best friends, and that comes across. And I think for any content creator, they can take something from that spirit of just having a good time with it, not taking it too seriously. It's the best industry in the world, this, honestly. There's nothing better, I think. So enjoy every minute, and then it will never feel like work, and the content you do will be 10 times better. But what is the #1 secret sauce to nearly a decade of success for these boys? So I think looking at it, and I've thought about this a lot, like what is the thing that if I could take anything from what they do, what is the one thing that really is the driving force behind why they're able to do what they do and to be doing it for so long? And I think it's this. It's to be 100% of yourself 100% of the time, and then you'll never get old. It's something when I look at all of them and I see them, when they're off camera, they're exactly the same as when they're on. When they're just talking in business meetings, they're having a laugh, they're joking around, but the people who are on screen are the same people when they're just chilling on the sofa in the studio. And I think it sounds a bit cringe and corny, but it is, I believe, actually the main thing, because ultimately, being themselves, they never get tired of the act they're trying to put on because they're not putting on one. I think one thing that JJ, for example, on Sidecast recently said was that when he started in music, he felt this immense pressure to be this rapper and to be this tough guy. But actually, it wore him out because he wasn't being honest and true to himself. So he started to resent it and hate it and didn't enjoy the process anymore. So I think actually thinking to then when he said the way that he has now conquered music and he's done amazingly well, and I think all the boys can relate to this, is because he's 100% him. So I think in anything you do, looking at the boys and what is the one thing that has made them so successful for so long, it's being 100% of yourself 100% of the time, and you'll never get old or bored. And that's, I think, how you create true longevity, how you future-proof your brand, and how you connect with an audience, which means ultimately that you end up with this. Because if you're 100% yourself, you become the best friend to your entire audience. And then they connect with you on a level that makes them so galvanized that they'll want to go, and not that they should be doing this, but that they want to go and invade the pitch just to get a selfie with you, just to be next to you, just to be in the same room or in the same environment as you. So that's, I think, how you truly deliver audience and create something as these boys have, which is a phenomenon. So thank you very much.